Hello everyone. I'd already made a shorts video about the details in the newly released Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, but after seeing the comments that came in, I decided to make this video to prevent any confusion. So in this video, I want to go through all the hidden details and all the theories one by one. And trust me, the last one will really surprise you.
Rebirth.
When we look closely at the release trailers, we can see that in some scenes, Peter's web shooters are visible, while in other scenes, they are not. And honestly, this is something they have done in almost every Spider-Man trailer before. It is not really a new trick. You probably remember the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer where Lizard was getting kicked by someone, but that person was not visible in the trailer at all. So I think the same kind of trick is being used here as well. In my opinion, this was done so that it would not be obvious whether that scene happens before or after the moment where Spider-Man comes out of the cocoon. And the same kind of deletion also happens during Spider-Man's fight with the Hand Gang. If you pay attention, some of the gang members are not even looking directly at Spider-Man. They seem to be looking somewhere else, almost like there is another person standing there. That is why I think the trailer is hiding more than it is showing us. And this prison fight with the Hand Gang is actually the moment when Scorpion is broken out of prison with Tombstone's help. So this is not just a random action scene. It is actually a very important moment in the story. And I think the trailer is trying to hide exactly how important that moment really is. At the beginning of the trailer, we see Peter sitting alone. And that shot is actually a reference to Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse. In that movie, we see Miles and Gwen sitting in a very similar way. The only real difference here is that our Peter is completely alone. Peter is sitting there alone, stalking MJ and Ned, the two people closest to him, the two people who have now forgotten him. That is actually a very sad image when you think about it. And it clearly shows that this movie is going to give us a much lonelier Peter Parker, one who is trying to deal with every hardship completely on his own. And since he made his suit himself, it looks lower quality than the previous suits we have seen before. But at the same time, this is actually much closer to Spider-Man's original comic suit. And honestly, I think it looks really cool. It has that more classic and more grounded Spider-Man feeling, but there is also something else that stands out. In some scenes, it is actually noticeable that the suit is CG'd. You can tell that what we are seeing is not completely practical, and I do not think that is random. I think that in those scenes, the suit we are seeing will not actually be the real suit. We are going to come back to that point later because I think it connects to something much bigger. Another important detail is that Spider-Man calls Punisher by his name.
The hell, Frank? You just hit me with a van!
It tells us that they already know each other. That means their meeting is not happening for the first time in this movie. And personally, I think we're going to see that first meeting in Daredevil Born Again. I also think that we are going to see how Kingpin lost to the presidency, which is something I mentioned in my shorts video before. We also know that when Void attacked New York in the Thunderbolts movie, our Spider-Man was there too. Even if they do not fully show that in this movie, I still think they are going to mention it, even if only very briefly, because after everyone forgot Peter, he moved to New York so he would not be too far away from Ned and MJ. And when you look at this scene in the trailer, it really feels like it was taken directly from that same day. Just look at the background. It really gives that impression, and there's another detail here too. That pose itself is also a reference to the Amazing Fantasy cover. I love it. There's another one hidden in the bus scene. The girl on the bus looks like a direct reference to Rogue, the character we know from the X-Men series. It may be a small detail, but it definitely feels intentional. That takes us to one of the biggest points of all. This movie actually be the one that starts the Mutant Era in the MCU. Jeangrey, played by sadiesink, is shown in the trailer without clearly revealing her face. So they are definitely teasing her without fully showing her yet. And the man we see in the trailer appears to be one of the people working for the DODC and also one of the people keeping Jeangrey captive. Her role is going to matter a lot more. In fact, I think we are really going to understand her true importance in Avengers: Doomsday. This movie feels like it will act almost like a trailer for her bigger role later on. Another huge theory is about Hulk. In this film, we will see the old, destructive Hulk again. Peter is dealing with loneliness, constant stress, and all of this pressure by himself. Because of that, he is going to start having serious problems in his body. And in order to understand what is happening to him, he is going to go to Bruce Banner for help. But I do not think things are going to go the way Peter wants. I think Jeangrey is going to enter Bruce's mind, and that is how Grey Hulk will emerge. That would completely change the situation. Peter is already in a weak condition, and his body is already giving warning signs. So after taking a brutal beating from Hulk, I think that is when he will enter the cocoon. And once Peter comes out of the cocoon, he will no longer be the same. After that, he will be able to produce his own organic webbing, just like Tobey's Spider-Man. And not only that, but his durability, his senses, and his overall power will increase dramatically as well. Now, this kind of idea has been explored many times in the comics, which is why why some people believe he might turn into Man Spider. But personally, I do not think that is going to happen here. I think the movie may borrow some ideas from those comic storylines without fully going in that direction. Still, I have to be honest, watching Hulk versus Man Spider would actually be incredibly fun. But out of all the details in this trailer, I think the most important one is Venom. Yes, I really think Venom is going to be in this movie. My theory is that Venom, somehow captured by the DODC, will end up bonding with someone, but that someone will not be Spider-Man. In the trailer, when Spider-Man opens the hatch of an armored vehicle, the person who appears doesn't look like an enemy at all, but actually Venom entered that woman's body to escape after being captured. Another thing I think was missing from the trailer is Venom jumping around and trying to escape. If this were Jean Grey's telepathic ability, Spider-Man wouldn't be able to act as if he could see her. Some of you will say, why doesn't he bond with Spider-Man instead of jumping on the soldiers? I think the reason is that he wants revenge. You know that symbiotes have hive memory, so whatever one experiences, the others can know. Since Tobey's Spider-Man killed a Venom, I think he wants revenge on Spider-Man this time. You can see this in Venom's post-credits scene as well. Instead, I think Venom is going to bond with Scorpion, the same Scorpion who was broken out of prison. And I do not think this theory comes out of nowhere either. I think we can support it by looking at the posts shared by Scorpion's actor. Those posts make this idea feel even more likely. There's another clue. The scar on Scorpion's face is not visible in the trailer, and to me that is another sign pointing toward Venom. Because if Scorpion is going through a transformation, or if something major is happening with his appearance, that could explain why the scar is not there in the way we expect. So when we put all of this together, I think the main villains of the movie are going to be Scorpion and Venom. So yeah, these are all the details, hidden clues, and references I wanted to talk about from the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. I hope you enjoyed this full breakdown and all the theories that came with it. If you want more videos like this, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like, and of course let me know what you think in the comments. Let's talk about all of it down below. Take very good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video.